Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a video. And I haven't posted anything really in probably more than a year. But there's been some things happening in the world that have really kind of drawn my attention, and I'm one of those people that I'm not really outspoken, but when I do have a strong opinion, I let people know. And seeing some other videos of people reacting to things that have been going on. And just for reference, this is right now it's the first week in October, but I'll mostly be talking about the Las Vegas shooting, which happened, I believe, October 1st. It was 1 week ago today. I don't remember what time. I know it was at night, or it might have been early in the morning. But I just want to know, one, why he did it, two, why people are jumping to conclusions, and then just all the how we get our news about this, and how, like, I'll even admit that I got it from Facebook. Like, I don't watch a lot of news. I tried, but I just don't watch that much TV, and it's hard to keep up sometimes. But the whole thing about, like, that he was stockpiling guns since like the 1980s, and they were all like fully auto or semi-auto that he converted, but these, and I'm going by preliminary reports. It hasn't even been a week, and but it's just not making sense, because there should have been some red flags. And I'll say that I'm not I don't believe that guns are the issue. um, you the classic thing that you set a loaded gun on the table, it's not going to shoot somebody. Someone has to pick it up. But I don't think fully automatic weapons should be available to the public, and I believe I read about some kind of law that was passed. So he might have got these before, or he might have black market them, or whatever. But the fact that he stockpiled that many without raising any red flags, and then he had a girlfriend, I don't know how long they were dating, but she had no knowledge about this or tipped anyone off that he was about to. And I hate the word that people are using about this, that it's the deadliest, or the deadliest shooting in modern history. You shouldn't label something like that, because then it just gets some other sick, deranged person a new target to, like, it's like a video game, like a high score. It's like, oh, well, I got one more, so now I'm the deadliest. And it's just really, you shouldn't value human life in numbers like that. And it just really pisses me off that this shit is happening. And I mean, what can we really do to stop it? We really can't. I commented on an article before about people that say, like, oh, I don't want to raise my kids in this kind of world, and the world is turning into shit and everything. But they don't realize is 100 years or even 50 years ago, these things were happening, and in some cases they were worse. But the difference is, in 2017, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, Snapchat, the internet in general, where anything that happens is an instant, like, you can make a story about it and report on it. You can even do a live broadcast on it. They didn't have that back then, so news traveled a lot slower, it reached a lot less people, and it's wrong to say that, like, the world is worse than it was. Granted, there are new ways that people are killing each other, but throughout modern history, people have been killing each other. Like, it's just a fact of our society. We have differences in ideas, views, and it causes people to lash out and react. Second thing I want to go on is the whole thing that I don't want to single this out really, but the thing I saw that Hillary Clinton posted, not even 24 hours later, that she was like, think about all the lives that would have been lost if he would have used a silencer. And politics aside, we should unite and stop the NRA. And like, it was just so insensitive and wrong. And you shouldn't be having that kind of viewpoint, especially early on, that politics aside, but I'm going to push my gun-hating agenda. And the NRA, as far as I know, is not political. Well, I mean, it is conservative, but it's not, like, it doesn't really have a side. And sorry about the camera, I'm trying to do my cell phone here. But I just, there's this whole thing where people use tragedies to push their political agenda. They do it on both sides. And it's really sad because it's very disheartening to the victims. We glorify the shooter. I can't tell you how many things I've scrolled past with that picture of the dude that killed them all. And his eyes closed, and it's like some like really old picture of him. We don't have any current pictures of him at all. But I've heard maybe one or two stories about the victims, and it's only like the ones that make the news, like husband saves wife, or girl texts her boyfriend that she's been shot and doesn't know if she'll make it. But you don't hear about like the first responders that showed up and like what they went through. The chaos. I mean, it was at a country music concert, thousands of people there, and the preliminary reports, people didn't even like care or freak out because they thought it was fireworks. And it's just like I couldn't imagine like what the atmosphere was, and especially now, like, how do you move forward in Las Vegas, especially that area? And it's just really upsetting to me that we glorify the shooter and we use tragedy to make new laws or influence policies. And another thing, just the reaction to our leaders in this society is downright terrible. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump or Clinton in the election. I did vote, but I didn't vote for them. And they both are terrible at how they react to situations. Trump doesn't have a filter, and some people respect that. They think that like politicians are guided by like the select few. And Trump ran his whole campaign on like pretty much I'm a billionaire, so I have no one else to listen to besides the American people. Which it's respectable, but he has shown day in and day out, literally, that he cannot run this country right. And Clinton, on the other side, she has so many scandals. I don't even want to get into it because it just pisses me off that she even was in the race and that she made it that far. We really got screwed for 2016. I guess to sum it up, I actually, I want to add one more thing. The whole conspiracy theories that are coming on. I've seen a couple people that I know post like, how could he shoot out, or yeah, how could the windows break in the hotel when they're rated for hurricanes at like 800 miles an hour or whatever? And it's like he had fully automatic guns that could kill people. They're probably like hollow point bullets. I mean, it's still glass. It's gonna break no matter how much it's rated for. Then the whole thing that there was a second shooter, which I mean there might well have been, but the preliminary report was that there was one shooter on like the 32nd floor, two windows busted out because he was in like a penthouse suite, um, and he killed himself when the cops breached. And there's this whole thing that like then ISIS claimed responsibility, which of course they are. They're a huge terrorist group. They like to spread their anti-American agenda. And if anything remotely comes close to frightening America, they're going to take responsibility for it, even if it wasn't them, because they want people to be afraid of them. So, I mean, he might have had ties with ISIS or some kind of Middle Eastern terrorist organization, or he could have just been some guy that snapped, or had some vendetta, or he was straight like suicidal and wanted to take out people with him. But I think just summing it up is we need to fix the way we respond to things and think of the bigger picture here, because I'm tired of seeing this. We've had it with like the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting. I think that was in 2014, where people were like, oh, we need tighter gun laws now to protect our children. And you think about it, about how many people own guns in society. I mean, you could be living next to someone that has, like, is packing tons of, like, heat, and you wouldn't know it. It's only people that shouldn't have guns that are the problem. And it needs to be addressed. The whole mental health thing is completely swept under the rug and, like, pushed away. Like, we're getting better at it. We're recognizing that, like, depression and anxiety are serious things that are medical, not disorders to a point, but there's things that can be done that people thought 20 years ago you were just acting out. And it's not true. They shouldn't have weapons, and it's the same with felons. If you get a felony, you can never own a firearm. It should be the same thing if you're diagnosed with some kind of mental health disease that could impair your judgment. Yeah, I think that'll do it for this video. I might do a follow-up, but I just want to kind of vent and give my kind of opinion on this, because I don't know how many people share my viewpoint, and it's nice to know if people agree with me. I do respect people on the con side, and I like intelligent argument and debate. When you sit there and belittle people or like talk behind their back about them, it's childish, and it doesn't make yourself look any better. So if you do have a viewpoint either agreeing with me or some other counter, post your comments below. Otherwise, have a good day, and hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.